In this class, we are going to study about the various life cycles which are present in the kingdom Protista. So, there are various kinds of life cycles depending on the organisms in various kingdoms like Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. All these 5 kingdoms have various types of life cycles, and here we are going to study the life cycles in the kingdom Protista. So mainly 2 types of life cycles are present in the case of Protista, and one is the Heplantic life cycle and the other is Diplontic life cycle. So as you can see here, haplo. So haplo means only one set of chromosomes or half the number of chromosomes. That is what is meant by haploid. And here the second one is the diploid life cycle or diplontic life cycle. So first we are going to see the differences between these two, and then we are going to summarize that with the help of a small diagram, and we are going to differentiate between each and every event that takes place in the Heplantic life cycle and also in the Diplontic life cycle. So the first point here is that in the case of Heplantic life cycle, the zygote is the only diploid stage in the life of an protist. So the zygote has 2n number of chromosomes or the normal diploid content of DNA or chromosome. So zygote will be the only diploid stage. Apart from the zygote, every other phase or every other stage in the protist will be haploid. It will only have the half number of chromosomes. So you must have studied in your lower classes that for chromosomes to become half or their number to be reduced to just the half as their initial number, there should occur a process which is called as meiosis. So to half the chromosome number or to reduce the chromosome number, a type of cell division which is called as reductional cell division, or that is also called as meiosis, takes place in the zygote stage. So this is why that meiosis which is occurring in the zygote, it is called as zygotic meiosis. And now when meiosis takes place in the zygote, 4 individuals or 4 offsprings or 4 progenies will be created, and all those 4 progenies will grow to form adults after their growth. And when they become adult, so those adults are formed by the haploid after or the haploid stages that has been developed after the meiosis. So all the adults will be haploid, whereas they produce gametes by mitosis. Because already the adults are haploid, they cannot go under another meiosis, and therefore they will not be able to produce more spores, like even more haploid spores, because already they are haploid and therefore they won't undergo meiosis, but they can produce spores through mitosis. So that is what is occurring in the case of Heplantic life cycle. So here we can see here zygote is the only diploid stage. तो यहाँ पर zygote जो है वो इकलौता diploid stage है, तो zygote के पास ही 2n number of chromosomes है. So the symbol for diploid is 2n, and after that all other phases are haploid and the symbol for haploid is n. यानी कि zygote 2n है, diploid है, उसके अलावा बाकी सारे phases जो होंगे वो सभी होंगे haploid. और जो zygote है उसके अंदर meiosis हो रहा है. So when meiosis takes place with the zygote or in the zygote, it is called as zygotic meiosis. So this zygotic meiosis is the reason why the zygote is producing 4 spores. So when the zygote will undergo meiosis, that is called as zygotic meiosis, and it will produce 4 haploid offsprings, because after meiosis the diploid part becomes the haploid. So obviously these 4 haploid offsprings after meiosis would be generally would have the half number of chromosomes, and now these 4 offsprings will grow into adults. And we have to remember that this adult stage is the N or the haploid stage. It only has the half number of chromosomes. So this adult is producing gametes, and for production of gametes some cell division will have to occur, and this adult will produce again gametes with the help of mitosis, not meiosis, because the adult is already haploid, and haploid cells generally do not undergo meiosis, so they would only undergo mitosis. So whatever the process we have studied here, we are going to study that with the help of a diagram. And the adults which are haploid, now these produce haploid gametes by mitosis, which fuse to form diploid zygote. So when haploid gametes are formed, we know that when gametes fuse, it produces zygote. So now we are going to see that with the help of a diagram. So this is a normal haploid life cycle. You can see here that this is the zygote, and now this zygote is 2n, that is, it is diploid. So when a diploid cell undergoes meiosis, it becomes haploid. So the adult will be n, that is haploid, and now this adult is producing gametes. These are the gametes. So gametes are here produced by the mitosis. Adult is not undergoing meiosis, it is doing mitosis to produce the gametes. So this is the normal summary of the events that we had studied in the haploid life cycle. So it is a very much quick summary and a quick pie chart. So this is the normal summary of a haploid life cycle. Now we come to the diploid life cycle. So in the case of diploid life cycle, the zygote as well as the adult both will be diploid. Here we are seeing that zygote is the diploid, adult is haploid. But in the case of diploid life cycle, this adult will also be 2n, that is, it will be diploid. Now the other thing, meiosis takes place during gamete formation. So when meiosis takes place for gamete formation, that process is called as zygotic, or the here in this case that is called as gammatic meiosis. So यहाँ पर zygotic meiosis हो रहा है और यहाँ पर gammatic meiosis हो रहा है. सो यहाँ पर जो डिप्लॉन्टिक लाइफ साइकिल है, यहाँ पर जाइगोट के अलावा एडल्ट स्टेज भी जो है वो डिप्लॉयड होगा, सिर्फ गैमीट्स यहाँ पर हैप्लॉयड है, यानी कि ये जो गैमीट्स यहाँ पर बने थे, गैमीट्स तो हैप्लॉयड होते ही हैं. तो डिप्लॉन्टिक लाइफ साइकिल में सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो गैमीट्स है वही हैप्लॉयड होंगे, जाइगोट और एडल्ट सभी के सभी क्या होंगे, वो डिप्लॉयड होंगे. सो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी दैट. So these are the gametes or the offsprings. So here we can see that meiosis takes place during gamete formation. तो यहाँ एडल्ट में meiosis हो रहा है gamete के formation के लिए, that is meiosis takes place during gamete formation, which is known as gammatic meiosis. So इस process को हम कहते हैं gammatic meiosis. अब जो जाइगोट है ग्रोथ एंड मैच्योरेशन होगा जाइगोट में, यहाँ पर जाइगोट के साथ मियोसिस हो रहा था, यहाँ पर जाइगोट के साथ ग्रोथ हो रहा है विच टू बिकम एडल्ट. तो जाइगोट में ग्रोथ होता है तो वो क्या बन जा रहा है, वो एडल्ट बन जा रहा है. अब एडल्ट में मियोसिस के थ्रू गैमीट्स बनेगा, तो एडल्ट जो होते हैं वो हैप्लॉइड गैमीट्स बनाते हैं, दैट इज यू कैन सी हियर गैमीट्स हैप्लॉइड हैं, एंड वो जो मियोसिस हो रहा है उसी की वजह से वो हैप्लॉइड हो पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि एडल्ट है 2n दैट इज वो है डिप्लॉइड, और जो मियोसिस की मदद से गैमीट्स बन रहे हैं वो है n दैट इज हैप्लॉइड. और ये जो गैमीट्स हैं वही फ्यूज करके फर्टिलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं और वहां पर उसे जाइगोट बन रहा है उससे. सो व्हेन वी कंपेयर बोथ ऑफ दीज प्रोसेसेस वी सी दैट यहाँ पर जाइगोट में क्या हो रहा है, मियोसिस, यहाँ पर जाइगोट में सिर्फ ग्रोथ हो रहा है. दिस जाइगोट इज ऑल्सो 2n. जो मेन पॉइंट ऑफ डिफरेंस है वो है एडल्ट से गैमीट्स बनने में यहाँ पर माइटोसिस हो रहा है, क्योंकि एडल्ट ऑलरेडी हैप्लॉइड है, हैप्लॉइड में फिर से मियोसिस नहीं हो सकता है. लेकिन यहाँ पर एडल्ट में मियोसिस से गैमीट्स बन रहा है, यहाँ पर माइटोसिस से बन रहा था. तो एडल्ट 2n है, डिप्लॉइड है, डिप्लॉइड में ही तो मियोसिस हो सकता है. नाउ जो गैमीट्स का फर्टिलाइज करके जाइगोट बनाना है दोनों जगहों पर कॉमन है, सेम है. यहाँ पर भी हैप्लॉइड गैमीट्स हैं, फर्टिलाइजेशन करके जाइगोट बना रहे हैं, यहाँ भी हैप्लॉइड गैमीट्स हैं, फर्टिलाइजेशन करके जाइगोट बना रहे हैं. सो सम थिंग्स आर सिमिलर बट सम थिंग्स आर डिफरेंट. तो ये दो तरह के जो लाइफ साइकिल्स होते हैं प्रोटिस्ट में ऑब्जर्व किए जाते हैं. अब नॉर्मली जो हैप्लॉन्टिक लाइफ साइकिल है जनरली डाइनोफ्लैजेलेट्स में देखा जाता है, और ये जो डिप्लॉन्टिक लाइफ साइकिल है दिस इज नॉर्मली सीन इन द केस ऑफ क्राइजोफाइट्स. So we are later when we will study about the 5 categories of this kingdom Protista, that is the chrysophytes or the dinoflagellates, euglenoids or the slime molds or the protozoa. So when we will study about these 5 categories, we are going to see that some of those categories like dinoflagellates will be showing haplontic life cycle, whereas chrysophytes and many other will be showing diplontic life cycle. So these are the two types of life cycle observed in the kingdom Protista, and we will study in each kingdom or in each category which of these life cycles are taking place. So after this we have completed this the life cycle or the haplontic and diplontic life cycle of Protista, and now we are going to study the kingdom or the category which is called as chrysophytes.